Hey there, comic book fans. I am back from the comic shop again this week. And well, I guess I only got 3 new comics, plus a replacement. First, let me show you the box that I got. This is one of those comic book boxes that you can carry your comics around in. I actually tried to build one of these because I make boxes sometimes out of mat board or foam core board. And tried to make one of these about 2 months ago, and it came out terribly. I didn't have my technique down right. So I kind of always wanted to get one, but I never really wanted to spend the money on one. But he gave this to me at cost, because I guess he didn't have any reason. No one else was buying it, which was $8. So I think they're like $12 or $16 usually. So I was happy to get this. I actually wanted it too to put my I still have these up on eBay. My own alternate covers I made. One for Avengers, one for Spider-Man. I'll leave a link below to my eBay. I just kind of wanted to keep something to keep these in. I don't know why. I just wanted something to keep them in. I have a few more of the Spider-Mans made. So that's why I ended up getting this box for $8. But other than that, let's start showing you the free things. What do we got here? Comic Shop News X-Men #1. Nice cover on Comic Shop News there. Who is that drawing? Is that Laniel Yu? Is that his name? I don't know. Let's see if they tell us here. Who's drawing X-Men? Yeah, Laniel Francis Yu. Okay, that is him. That's that signature down there. I like that. Nice little cover. A little X6 this fall, but I'm not going to be buying the X-Men. How does everybody think that Hickman X-Men is? I actually borrowed a friend's first issue of whichever the first one was to come out and read it, and it was okay. I found it a little odd that he's making the X-Men the villains of the piece, but it's not going to end up that way. It's God, what's his name was writing it? The East of West guy. Well, I can't remember anything. And he always has stuff up his sleeve, so what appears to be true is probably not true. But there we go. I'll read about what the X-Men can. Also, could you believe that? What's that other big book Marvel has out today? Carnage, Absolute Carnage. I was like $8 for #1. Ooh, the sticker shock scared me off. Not that I'm buying much Carnage anyway. But the other free thing, is Usagi Yojimbo #2. IDW put out. This is a replacement copy because all the issues of the first one have this. Remember I showed it to you. They all have this line in them. There we go. They all have these 2 lines, these folds in the paper. Some sort of production error, where every single copy of this. So they put out a replacement edition. Still says first printing on it. The only difference is this has dark blue in IDW, and that has the light blue, same as the background. And the new undamaged version has the light blue on it. So we've got the damaged one and the undamaged one, and didn't have to pay for the new one because it was a replacement copy. Let's see, what else do we have here? We have got Outcast #42. There's this and 2 more issues left. We'll see what happens in this one. Everything's coming together. Or big fight. Oh, look at that. Big fight right on the first page. Between the demon-inhabited people and the outcasts and other things like that. Oh, another fight. Fist fight. Fist fight. I've enjoyed Outcast since the beginning. Kirkman Azaceta with Brightweiser. I wonder what they're going to do. I think this is the last of my Kirkman books that I collect. I might have no Kirkman books left on my pull list. I also really enjoyed, it just reminded me, there's only 1 issue left of The Wicked plus The Divine. And the second to last issue that I got last week was really good. I really liked it. I think the last issue is going to be a wrap-up. And Paper Girls also had a pretty good last issue. Walking Dead had a real. Walking Dead's last issue was exceptionally good. Paper Girl's last issue was. It's like you can read the Walking Dead last issue kind of on its own without having read any of the other Walking Dead. So that's kind of amazing. And Paper Girls too, in a way. You can read that last issue without having read all the other Paper Girls, and it's still a good comic. Interesting way they've been doing last issues lately. And then we've got Birthright, issue number 38. Oh, that's right. We left off with our intrepid crew of magic users about to fight a bunch of giant monsters. Looks like we don't get that on the splash page here. That looks like a flashback splash page. I don't want to spoil it any for you or for me because there was a big cliffhanger at the end of our gang of magic users was going to try to this big wizard's house to try and convince her to fight on their side, and they showed up and there was these monsters with automatic weapons. So I just opened it to a middle, almost spoiled it for myself, but I stopped. And our last one of the week is #Danger, ripped by the blood-mad dogs of Paris. I am really enjoying #Danger. It's Tom Payer and Chris Geruso. And it's got the Chris Geruso all ages art, but it's not an all ages book. That's kind of what makes it interesting. All the stories, they're continued, but they're done in ones. And it's adventure stories with some humor and some adult situations. So I'm finding this very amusing. I mean, the last thing I read I don't think I've read anything of Chris's that's a sort of adult in nature in a long time. Usually he does the all ages stuff. This is a nice change of pace from his all ages stuff that I read. Yeah, this one's got the mature tag on the UPC. Not that there's anything in the drawings that's just occasionally the 7 dirty words, I think, in it, and maybe some sexual situations. So it's not really that mature, but it's pretty mature. All right, now let me show you. What have I been doing? I haven't been doing a whole lot. I had my you can see my easels back. This past weekend I had my big barbecue, so I had people over. So that took up much of my weekend. And then some friends of mine left some photos with me from the early 90s Marvel Halloween and holiday parties that I had never seen before. So I was scanning them in this week. So between a party, scanning in all old photos, I've only done a couple of little things. A little monster a day drawing with my busted brush technique. This is ink on paper. And then I was just doing a couple of little art cards. Not even numbered yet, just a head, a crooked head. Her jaw is not symmetrical for some reason. Her jaw is crooked. She's got a crooked mouth, a crooked jaw, and it's just the way it came out. Sometimes I don't draw things straight. Sometimes a face that's perfectly symmetrical and perfectly straight just doesn't work for me. Most of the time it does, but not always. Then there's another one of my little single line weight drawing, sort of a different style if you look at these two. This one has I did that with a brush, so it's got multiple heavy line weights. That's how I normally draw. Recently I've just been using a pen just to go for this sort of single line weight thing, just for the heck of it, just for something different to do. I just can't do the same thing the same way every time. Okay, so there you go. Some comics, a box, and a few drawings. You guys have a good week out there.